Hey guys, it's day 36 or 7. Not quite sure right now. I'm a little sick again still. The sore throat is gone, but uh, I'm not feeling all too well, but still, nonetheless, I'm going to play my regular session today. I thought about canceling it, but then again, um, I couldn't bring it. um, I just fired up 4 tables of 16 NL and 1 table of 25 NL. I'm gonna try and talk a little bit less in this video, so let's focus more on the action. Well, the good thing about being a poker player is you can work from home even if you're sick. I mean, in yesterday's session I told you not to play when you're sick, and I definitely stick to that word, and I would definitely not advise to play too much when you're sick, but well, sometimes you just can't help it, and I feel like when I'm sick, grinding a session at small stakes or micro stakes is the perfect thing to do, because the mistakes are not going to cost me as much, but um, at the same time, I hope it's not going to affect our challenge results too much. But I don't think that's going to happen. Actually, I was already booking a nice profit so far. I think I'm $10 up so far this session. I started the tables before I started the recordings, and I found some pretty nice tables. Queen 10, I'm going to fold. I'm still looking to set the right filters on my Hold'em manager so we can actually see the results. So here we go. Gonna bet the pair fours here. Definitely gonna call the sixes. Hope to flop a set. Let's have a look at the graph. Looking at graphs is always nice. Graphs are neat. So yeah, we're breaking even the last 5,000 hands. It's an ugly stretch that we're passing through. Combination of both not running too well and probably also not playing too well. It's always a combination of these two things. You can definitely assume that. I mean, one thing usually comes to the other. It goes pretty fast. Like when I'm on a downer, I know that results of hands definitely affect how I play. I mean, we're just humans, we're not robots. Of course, it would be better if they wouldn't affect you at all, but they do, and your game does tend to deteriorate at least a little bit. And the most usual symptoms of this is probably you trying to protect yourself from more variance by either playing a lot nittier than you'd usually do, or making a lot more aggressive plays than you'd usually do, just to try and recoup those losses. And that's quite natural. It's a natural human tendency and habit, I feel. So if you can control that to a certain point, that's awesome. But also, don't hate yourself for doing stuff like this. I mean, it's just natural, and it does tend to happen. So yeah, when you're down swinging, most important aspect is to control these bad habits into a direction, either by taking enough breaks or leaving the table. Oh, that's a pretty easy call. It's just a min 3-bet. Leaving the tables when you're not on top of your game, or try and work on your B game. I mean, you can definitely work on your B game if you can like stick to some basic game plan that you know is gonna at least net you a little bit of a profit, not too much profit, or the kind of profit that your A game would net you. But then again, if you do feel the need to play poker, then it's probably alright. I'm going to squeeze here. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, like this. So this guy seems to be a short stack. Not sure what to do with queen 9 off. I think it's a little bit too loose to defend. So I 3-bet ace king, get flatted. Now, when people flat call a squeeze, I think they're going to have a lot of hands that fit into that flop category. So I'm going to just check fold this one. I think this is the one of the flops to check fold with ace king. Of course, not much you can do. I could try and represent a 10 here. Not sure though. I should have to barrel twice then, and it's always tough to try and represent a hand after checking the flop. So I'm just gonna check it down, and taking it down against something like pocket sevens, I assume. 9-7. He was checking it down. I mean, yeah, he's not turning it into a bluff. That's a pretty loose call, actually. Something that I wouldn't expect from somebody playing that tight. 18-14. Or is it the wrong stats, actually? No, it's the right stats. So sevens we're going to call. So I found one 25NL table which I found to be really action heavy. So I picked that one to continue our 25NL shot, and then 4 16NL tables. It's a pretty big open. Love to call this one on the button. You know, I'm a fan of playing hands on the button. I also had some tweets that I wanted to go into. Just checked my Twitter account, and there were a lot of not a lot of, but a couple of tweets that I wanted to go into. What are the main stats? Whoops, here's the one. What are the main stats you're displaying on your HUD, and which one do you look most into when grinding it up? So yeah, interesting question. Got my HUD right there. I actually simplified it a bit. So first line is VPIP preflop raise aggression factor, and this is pretty much all that I usually need to pin someone as either a regular, a recreational player, loose and aggressive guy, a loose and passive guy. So the tendencies that you associate with these stats are just is someone loose preflop, or is he passive? Is he aggressive? Is he loose, or is he loose, or is he tight, or is he passive, or is he aggressive? So you can couple those two, and you can form all the different types of forms of player types there are in poker. Queen 7 suited. I'd love to open. Got a shorty right behind, so I'm sticking to my tight game plan. Stay tight. Stay tight. I promise to stay tight to not risk a shot. Yeah, so I'm trying to categorize these people by just the first 3 stats, and then the other important stat that I'm looking at is the 3-bet percentage and the fold to 3-bet. But fold to 3-bet is not that important to me, not at microstakes at least, because exploiting leaks like that when somebody just folds to 3-bets a lot, it's not something that should make you a ton of money at microstakes levels. So, well, I'm coining, of course. And definitely 3-betting jacks from against the button. Folding here. Did I have a straight? No, I didn't. Yeah, that's not good. So definitely c-betting on this flop, and probably jamming any turn. So that's one of the turns that I'm definitely going to jam. I mean, yeah, I will get called a bit, but I do have some backup, and he's going to float the flop with a pretty wide range there, as he's a recreational player. And when they float like this, excuse my voice, wanted to not talk too much, but you know, I can't help myself, it seems. So yeah, stats again, I'm drifting off. So stats again, 3-bet is also important. Like at microstakes levels, I think the basic HUD is all you need. There's just not much need for a specific HUD, because also you're not going to be able to pick up too many hands from people. So it's not going to help you all that much if you have like a 200 or 300 hand sample. All that's going to give you is a little impression, short impression of how somebody might play, but not how they truly play. 7-5 suited, I love to flat. It seems irregular. I wanted to stay tight, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to leave this table as I feel it's not that juicy anymore. So what I'm going to do is going to look for another juicy 25NL table to replace that with. Let's have a look. Oh, I just set out. Didn't realize. Deuce 4 is a fold, ace queen is a raise. Yeah, so just stick to the basic HUD. Let's have a look at more questions. What are your stats on the micros? Yes, that's exactly what I'm looking for. All the other stats, you need a pretty decent sample on somebody to make it worthwhile. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time and efforts to try and exploit something that either you shouldn't be exploiting, or that's just consuming your attention, your focus from spots where you can make a lot more money. Yeah, so that was the question that was tweeted to me. Thanks for the tweets. Keep the tweets up, and let's make that grinding it up, hashtag grinding it up. Let's make that a trend, shall we? Still not finding any decent. Ooh, that's a nice flop. Hello there. I'm just going to bet really small and hope to induce a bluff. Check raise me, please. Sir, yes, that's exactly what I was looking for. So I'm going to make a quick 3-bet here and induce further action. Oh, that was bad. Damn. Something that usually works. But, well, not this time. He was on a complete bluff, so I should have let him barrel. 5 minutes extra time. Penalty time. So 25 minutes for this video already. Always easy to get results oriented, right? But this time I feel like it was definitely not worth it. Maybe you should have just let him barrel. Still looking for that 25 NL table. I definitely value betting that one. So he has been opening quite a bit. I think I could also 3-bet, but given the stack size, I don't want him to shove over the top or anything. People that open that loose and play that loose, they're typically prone to do that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to be very cautious against this guy. That's not such a great turn card. Still going to check this one back. Don't see a lot of value. Could bet like a quarter, but I'm just going to check it back. I'm always getting suspicious when super aggressive people all of a sudden start checking their hands. It's usually what happens when you're playing a laggy player. Spots where you can actually pick up a read on them being really strong is when they do something that's totally against their usual habit, and that's when they start just checking instead of betting. Like every time he was bluffing, but this one time he just decided to to check call with a hand that's actually worth check calling. I mean, he played it fine, I guess, but I would have c-bet the flop most likely. Now this table is breaking too, so we can actually replace this one with a 25 and L2 if you like. Let's have a look. It's not looking good. Yeah, I mean that's, whoops, I had a bet sizing tell here. Usually make it 48. That's something where zoom is really has a big advantage over the regular tables, and why I personally enjoy zoom so much is because you can skip all this time spent looking for tables, looking for action. If you play zoom, the action is right there in front of you. Well, I do have to call a small blind, I guess, and I'm definitely calling the river now. I mean, he's gonna have a 3 or 7s. That makes sense too, but it's just a blind. So whoops, I'm gonna bet my pair of 7s here. I think it's gonna be the best hand most of the time. Going to isolate this guy, even though Jack 9 suited is a little tricky. So this guy this is the same guy that flat at 9-7 suited, if I'm not mistaken. I'm definitely gonna fold Ace 5. Don't know what he's up to in case when he flats 9-7 suited. you know what I'm gonna do is I'm going to I'm thinking about jamming here actually. Making a pretty big raise. Actually, not too big. No. Yeah, I'm making it like 137. So usually I would 3-bet, but not at 25NL right now as it is. You know, I wanted to stay a little tighter. Don't know the guy. Checking back that turn and then making a decision on the river here seems fine. I could also bet the turn, but now I'm just gonna check it down. And maybe there was some value that I missed. I could have bet the turn actually, but on a board texture like this, it's super likely that he actually has a flush draw. He can also have a better 9 at times, so given that the texture just was a little bit scary, I think putting in one raise on the flop and then just continuing on turns that are good for you is a good decision. So yeah, I'm definitely staying on the tighter side at the 25NL tables because I don't want this shot to fail again. I really want it to work. So we're just looking for good spots and for hopefully safe spots with 3 recreational players at this table. We got a regular here, probably a regular here, most likely a recreational player here. Don't know this guy. And we're, yeah, it's good. $515. So still a little bit away from our recent peak. That one was a nice peak that we had over here. I think that was like 500 and something, 560 or so. So probably another $50 away from that. Today's session, as I said, gonna be 25 minutes. As I already put some penalty time on myself. We need a button. Said that earlier. We need a button. Like, meh, penalty time. If anyone is up for making a button like this, let me know. I'm gonna put it right in front of the camera, and you get all the fame for it. Just to increase the interaction between us even more. 7 deuce suited could actually be an open, but I'm not sure. I think the 7 deuce suited week is over. So I found another 25NL table. So right now I'm risking $100 on 25NL and 32 on 16. Maybe I should quit one of these tables. I think I'm gonna quit this one because, you know, this guy actually didn't seem like a recreational player at all anymore. So I'm just gonna replace this table with this one. Yeah, that's a little bit of a hassle, but Zoom and regular tables, they both have their advantages and their disadvantages. Usually get better action at these tables, of course. That's for sure. Stealing cheap on the button. Tight guy in the big blind, so we're just gonna try and steal from him. This is actually not a great table to stay at anymore. So, yeah, we're looking for a new one. Some 16NL. Here we go. That looks better. Yeah, definitely c-betting this flop and definitely raising pre-flop with ace king. So I get called, and that's a decent turn, just barrel. I'm going to just bet. I can protect against a flush draw. I can get some small pairs to fold, so I feel like betting here is good. And I could sometimes be good if I check this back. Yeah, there we go. So that worked out nicely. But I'm actually going to leave this table, even though that player is a little bit weaker. And I'm going to replace it with this table. So all that table hopping. You got to do what you got to do to build a bankroll in the first place. So in that ace-10 hand, we were actually value betting. It's one of these spots where you are in a sort of twilight zone. You're betting either for, it's like betting a little bit for value, of course, against the flush draws, as I said, and against other ace high type hands. But you know, those hands are usually not really calling. So the problem there is, what's usually happening, you're mixing it up as a sort of value and bluff bet. Sometimes worse hands are calling, like hands with equity, and sometimes better hands are folding, like a pair of threes or fours or fives or whatever. Even if that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, we're running better again today. The problem really is, oh no, we don't get any action. The problem really is you don't know what you're betting for, so usually you're just betting to take it down. That's also a decent reason, sometimes, not always, but sometimes it's a decent reason to just bet, because there is no chance that you're going to be given any decent spots, any more decent spots to pick up the pot at a later stage of the hand. So when I were to check the ace high back, well, the chance, of course, there is a chance that I'm given maybe at the river that somebody is bluffing into me and I might bluff catch. But that's tough, you know. It really depends on the opponent type, what bet size he uses, what river card peels off. So that's tough. That's really tough. 7-6 suited. I mean, Jack 10 I was opening. I should definitely open that, but I didn't see those shorties. I actually didn't pay attention too much, so hate folding a hand like this. Such a beautiful hand. Hate folding hands like these. So at 25 and now, you do realize something that we realize is that we're getting 3-bet a whole lot more than at 16 or 10 and 0. So ace king. Looking at another big pot. 3-betting ace king, I could also flat call, but you know, this guy could also be a recreational player, so I definitely don't want to miss out a chance to squeeze out value from worse hands. And opening an ace into a recreational player. This one, Jack 10, I mean, under the gun, it's definitely a little bit loose, so I'm just going to leave it. Maybe I was wrong on this guy. Maybe I should tag him back to a regular and stop opening too wide into his big blind. After all, we don't know him too much. King Queen suited, decent hand. Could be a short stacker here. So since he's so short, I could 3-bet, but then again, I risk having him shove over the top. So since I'm on the button, there's no reason not to flat call here with King Queen suited, or do anything else than flat calling. And definitely taking a step here on the flop, because I think he's going to check fold a lot on a board like this with better hands, like ace king, ace queen, no hearts. So I think we should definitely take a stab there. Alright, so looking good, actually. Expect a little bit of a win. We can book the profit now. Bankroll is at 520, so yeah, I think I'm going to play another couple more minutes because of my penalty, and then I'll call it a session. So yeah, we got 3-bet the second time around now by both of these guys, so it's definitely something to look out for at 25 now. First and foremost, adaptions will be not opening too wide, like King Jack's probably a little bit too wide from the early position. Well, we have to fold, of course. There's not much else we can do with King Jack. We could bluff, but then again, he could just be value 3-betting us, and we're just running into his aces or paying him off. Don't want to risk that. So, yeah, I'm going to sit out and call this another session, another day. So now I will have to look up what day it is actually today. I think it's 36, but I'm not too sure. Was it 35 yesterday or was it 36 yesterday? 35, so we have 36. So aces, 10-8, I think it's a decent steal too. We could use another 16 bucks. I wouldn't mind, so give us a 3-bet. No, he doesn't. So, I mean, it's a recreational player. I have 10 high. I could make a one and done bluff, but I feel this board is a little bit too coordinated to do it, so I'm just gonna check it back and give up on this one. Maybe I spike an 8 or a 10 and it's good. We're just gonna check it down. Don't have showdown value, but also I don't feel like we can make him fold anything. Or maybe king high we could have. I don't know. Okay, last hand aces. Snack that $6. Ship it. Please, we need it for the bankroll. At least he calls, so that's good. Yeah, definitely betting this flop. Could bet pretty big, I think, because he should be calling any pair, any draw. So yeah, we're just betting and then jamming any turn. Yeah, there we go. Jack is a bad card, but I don't also want to risk giving him any free cards, so we're just gonna jam it in and hope for the best. No! Damn! Drives us crazy here. So yeah, again, well, a little bit of a bankroll boost. Putting the bankroll at, not really, it's 511. So, well, never mind. We just need to run better at 25 on L next time. Alright, so that's it for today. I'm gonna go and recover a little. Hope I'll be back in good spirits tomorrow, so keep grinding it up.